The July live stream was one of the most stacked live streams I think I've ever watched from Kabam. We're going to try and round off and summarize a 1 hour 30 live stream, fingers crossed in 20 minutes or less. But I did say there was a lot. The first thing I know a lot of you want to see is the promo code. It drops in July 25. Kabam also mentioned in the live stream that there was going to be a testing kind of teasing point, or kind of a fixing point, sorry, with Twitch drops, and they're pretty much sorted. There were some that were given out, but you had to of course be in the live stream, which was just not energy refills, health potions. There was a little bit of a recap in the saga overview, which then gave a little bit of a list of things that Kabam were going to discuss in the live stream itself. So nothing really kind of like stood out from that one. But one thing that did very much stand out is that we're going to see the new event. The new event is going to be the Fantastic Force Recruitment, which we're going to go over in a bit more detail in a moment. There's also a Human Torch boost, which is exciting as well. That Human Torch boost means everybody that has a saga-based champion can basically turn themselves into a little Human Torch in certain game modes, like event quests or side quest. Now we jump back to the Fantastic Force Recruitment. It is very complex to explain this. The easiest way I can explain it is you go to this place called Standard on the left. You then fight a few fights, 4 fights on the milestones, and you get the allotted points from it in order to enter into Energized. And Energized is where you're able to get a bulk of your ranked points that are going to mean for some tasty little rewards. Now, if we've got it up, yes, we do. That's the rewards right there that you get. The mode itself, again, will require some explaining. It's a bit like Battlegrounds, but it's not. You are effectively trying to build a squad of high scoring. You can see, like here, Lone Wolves, 10 points. The more that you go up in the points and you basically choose the best configuration with your squads, you can then be able to get more points. The more points you get more points to get more prizes effectively. There's a lot more to it than meets the eye. You have to form 5 champs, and by being a certain faction it benefits, or being a certain type. It's like playing poker. Like, you know, poker, you're trying to effectively make the strongest suit possible, or strongest set possible from the various different types of poker hands. This is not a PvP type mode. It is very much a solo based mode, and I absolutely love that. This is really something that kind of exists as a fun type mode. And yeah, there is some boss fighting elements to it as you go through and try to kind of get chances to redo your team, or draw certain champions, or swap certain champions to try and see if you can match. It's like a nice kind of card kind of based game, like sub mode. I think it's really fun, and I'm very much looking forward to playing it. And this launches on July 15th, which is a little bit later on than normal, but it does mean that there's a bit of time for you to do some other things dropping. There's a lot in July. There's also the ability to use revives, which is good. And you can, at the end of each fight, which you can see here, swap out your hollows for different champions. And the numbers, the factions, a lot of it will need fully explaining. That's me explaining it in a nutshell for that one. But you can see drawing new hollows right there, and then being able to kind of like create the strongest team for opponents. It's the round of 3. Which you should be able to see on screen. Oh, that was a moment ago. More to that than meets the eye soon enough, but we'll kind of leave it right there. The mode is fully showcased, but we'll have to fully explain it. Also, Kabam did showcase the 7-star Mr. Fantastic again, which is available for spenders that have grabbed the research. I can't remember what it is, research, whatever, doodah, what's it, you get from a game. For me, as a non-spend, as many other non-spenders are, we're going to have to wait a little while for it in order to kind of like access it. There's going to be a Grandmaster's Grace, however, with the Maker and other champions moving forward. Of course, there's the pity system, and Kabam just rebuffed and kind of like explained that. We've also got a little bit of a mention about the Summoners Fest, which does have something that runs this summer, so whether it's starting next week or whatever, is a realm event. This has points in certain game modes, which you're going to see in a moment, and You're probably going to have like a Battle Realm Brawl, so you can look to qualify for that soon whenever that drops, and you can go and meet the devs. Tickets and other stuff will be available with all information soon. Does this hint at a 7-star Hercules? Probably not, but people might kind of take it the wrong way. There is a fantastic Force Incursions dropping on July 9th, so very early on. There's a lot of stuff to cover next week, I'm telling you. This sees you against Cosmic and Science champions, and you'll also see 15,000 Summoners Fest Realm points, which again is factoring into this event that we don't know about. We'll probably find out soon. There's probably going to be an announcement soon as well. You're going to see bosses of Silver Surfer and Invisible Woman as bosses, so you might have to figure out who are going to be some of the best counters for those particular champions. And yep, details on the forums coming soon. We also see a Saga Champion showcase, as we normally do, and that hopefully will be fun. We all like a bit of fun. Cosmic and skill paths for that one. Oh, and there's also somewhere, which I just skipped over, Alliance Wars Encounter Showcase. I can't remember if this is a buff on the Tier 7 basics. There might be. As well as Summoners Fest points. And points, of course, mean prizes. Or we'll find out more, because, of course, the event runs as a realm event. We'll have to see what lovely things the community can earn. There might be some spicy rewards, but we will have to work together in the vibe for it. Raid month, well, we all know about that. That's in full swing next week. And the main thing, or the kind of exciting thing, is the Valiant Event Quest version 3. This is a new kind of iteration. It does seem some slight changes, and I need some confirmation from Kabam on some things. First of all, it's a team of 3, but there is something right here where it's required for you to full team choice swap nodes. For about 3 fights, you can use your team, and then at the end of it, you then swap. You do face the boss early on. Those 3 fights I mentioned are kind of treated with you can't use the same champion either more than once or something, but you don't swap your team out until like about the actual swap node itself. I need to see it for myself, just kind of 100% verify what it is, but it is and does seem a little bit better, but I need confirmation on that. But it does seem like new, it does seem fun and other stuff like that. There's a little kind of objective thing, weekly objective, where you get Mysterium. It's kind of replacing where you normally get your Mysterium from. There's also a Class 7 star for Valiant players, which is really exciting. So that's a nice little addition that Kabam are putting in as well. Kabam after that went and showcased a little bit of the Maker. Wild Time blocks, use heavy to refresh passive, Siphon as your pre-fight. We'll talk about that in a minute. Smack Defender with an SP1 against the wall, then drop a mine. If you can, if you can't, just drop the mine. Evade Stun, which you're going to see in a moment, and there it is. And then you, evade stun. You got those evade charges, and then you're then trying to do an SP2 to activate, which you can see launched in a second. So try and get Magneto here into the right hand corner for the mine blasting and plasma. And then after that, you can either do another SP2 or do an SP3 or do whatever feels natural. SP3 is more for like the longer fights, so it's really exciting to kind of see that. Pre-fights have options to counter enemies, and also pre-fights can be put on other champions, tech champions benefiting the most. There's no crits, so he's good against mutants. I'm looking at Mr. Sinister here. Reverse Control Immune and Neuroshock Immune make him a great option against Onslaught. And knocking down the enemy means he can gain more pre-fights, because you do lose 3 of the 4 right off the very bat. I would also recommend to use champions on your team to then win fights on his behalf and then get more pre-fights, which actually happens as well. It's kind of like Silver Sable, and you saw a good amount of him being rotated in some fights, which was nice on stream. I'm glad that Kabam do this. So we've now got to move on to High Evolutionary. So High Evolutionary is doing basic attacks and then getting detonation passives and build withers. SP2 at the wall will launch the field, which you can launch it whenever, but it's best to do it there, because at least you know how to kind of push the enemy to the wall, and you'll also see like this big kind of purpley thing, which is the field. SP1 to detonate combo detonation, which you can see is happening right now. Auto block on champion is effectively like Mixmaster. So when you're fighting up against High Evolutionary, Imagine you're fighting Mixed Master. He's immune to buffs, he's immune to Rupture and Neutralize, and is similar to the Green Door of Leader. And he could be an annoying defender, says Kabam Karate Mike. We then move on to the Solvarch reveal even. There's a little bit of footage on this one. A little bit of kind of like abilities, which you can see right there. I'm going to pause the screen. There's like Crush Charge, but there's a stun there. There's some other stuff going on. There's too little information to go on. I don't want to kind of like jump the gun on that, but the facts are he is going to be available in August. Next month, we look at his abilities, and he will be joined in the Titan Crystal by a rare champion. I got a feeling it could be Baron Zemo, but I probably am wrong with that one. And yeah, gameplay showcase, which you can see on screen. There was also a little bit of a reminder about the Batch 1 reworks, which again you can see here. Patriot, MODOK, and Yondu will be giving details of that soon. I'm excited to find out what kind of rework elements they're going to have, and will they feel like things have been massively improved. And then this leads us on. I know I'm actually doing pretty well for covering a lot of this stuff in a very short space of time, but then this is where things get extensive and will need to be, context to this stuff. I'll probably need to put more context into stuff like this. So, roadmap with Kabam Zen. So first of all, Radiance was talked about and covered. And this was something that it's still early days for Radiance and its impact, and something Battlegrounds is really wanting to see like how that kind of like impacts a lot with Alliance War, a new thing. I don't know how I feel about this. I as I've said recently, I need to do this for another season to get a full kind of personal feeling around it. But Kabam mentioned and talked about this, how it was kind of like divided the community. I don't know. I kind of feel like people might warm to this after a second season. Other than that, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's mixed, so it is what it is. Kabam have got a survey. It's out now. Fill out the survey. Kabam need feedback. They're trying out new stuff. I got nothing against Kabam trying new things, right? In anything, not just Alliance Wars. It's just Kabam need feedback from you, first and foremost, and Kabam need to take into consideration what people are saying. Battlegrounds, lots of things here. So Kabam are going to launch Little Leagues, which is going to hopefully improve the element of matchmaking from stronger accounts to weaker accounts. Like, I don't have a lot of time, so I was in victory track for a lot of the last 2-3 days. And of course, whoever I was facing off against, I probably peed them off. And I'm sorry about that. I don't intend to be down there. That's on a Kabam thing for kind of allowing a grindy mode, not allowing, this to be separated out between where I get the rewards for certain things and of course where you lower accounts get your stuff from. But Kabam needs to sort it out, and maybe they are with Little Leagues. They're also going to put in whitelist and blacklist, so like bans and stuff like that. So you could see the annoying defenders like Enchantress be ones that will not see the light of day to be used quite as much as in defense, or strong attackers in attack. That could be good, that could be bad. We'll have to find out with that. There's also the extent of shuffle signets not being as extensive, and therefore that's going to improve as well. So you might be able to pick better champions rather than be all kind of like, stuck on not being able to pick from a 3 that you were like, oh, this would have been better, instead of some random 3 from your deck, which is just, bizarre. There's also a good way forward that Kabam have done with how ELO, the decay to reduce parking, is going to be done. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Automatic matches, so you have to, you can't decline or accept. It just is what it is. And the other thing with all of this is Radiance. Radiance still exists as a chase resource, chase like element. And Kabam has seen the impact on it, and of course you chasing that Radiance, and the just will this encourage from that early objectives for a new season that you're going out there to go and grab it quickly. Anyway, there's a lot more without kind of going into a greater amount of detail into the subject. Yeah, side quests, new kind of iterations coming soon. We're seeing that in July. The squad builder version, there's more. Kabam, we're going to be talking about it maybe next month, maybe not. Event quests, so Kabam also say about the way that that's going to come in, how that's been progressing on. There are some new things that are going to be there. I'm still undecided about how Kabam benchmark against the top 30 for prestige, because it is and I said before, that's predominantly spenders are located in those top 30 prestiges. It's not non-spenders. So it's an unfair reflection of that one. Yes, it's great to aspire to it, but it's just unrealistic. Like, I'm not going to be able to spend the same sort of money to get there. So therefore, why should I be judged upon that by Kabam? But anyway, that's something, that's something for another day. Moving on, and this is where things get really, really spicy. Not solo raids. Solo raids are still good, by the way, and it's good that Kabam will do that, and more details are coming next month on it. But daily quest rework. I think this is probably one of the most substantial things. There's actually more substantial things, by the way, and some really great stuff I think a lot of the player base is going to be very happy about. Daily quests. All of your old rewards are going to be staying, but the way that they're done is probably going to be cleaned up and a little better. And with this being changed on a daily element, you might be like, well, yeah, let's do it. A super version of that on Sunday. Something interesting to quest in. Could be good. I think it might be good to amalgamate the apothecary into this, so you can just farm one quest with lots of different rewards. One quest and done on a daily basis. That's super cool. But we'll see what Kabam do with that one down the line. There's also I think I've jumped the gun a bit with this, but a Mysterium. I did jump the gun, massively jump the gun. Mysterium update, so we're going to find out more details about that. There's going to be a Mysterium store buff. Hopefully it's good. But we need more Mysterium then, in order to get some of the better stuff, or have more of a choice. There's other stores that need to be buffed, by the way. Not just saying that, but it's good to see Kabam doing it. There's also a weekly Alliance super event, similar to the daily super event, and that's going to be nice. And hopefully you get better selections on things, and hopefully as well they're spicy. So that's exciting. I love new things that are spicy like that. There's also Summoner Sigil update. I did miss off of that. Summoner Sigil update, there it is. And for those that spend it on a monthly basis, you might be getting a bit more kind of like stuff, just a little bit. Increased weekly bundle potions, added more items to the Sigil store. So I guess it entices people to spend on this or come back to it if they gave up on it, and it's a regular thing that needs buffing and improving, so you get bang for your buck. There's also, now finally we can talk about it, StatCast Relics. Now, a big section was devoted to this. Of course, you can see there they are green. When the striker launches, it launches in green. There's only 2 there. As you can see here, launching in green. There we go. Yeah, the striker launches in green. Kabam say that there's 180 new relics that are going to be launched in August, which is extensive. We're going to look at the dev diary, which is out now, but that's still pretty good. Stat bonuses on attack and defense, 1 primary attribute and 1 secondary, and these are a lot more easy to use. Your resources will be able to be used on these new ones, which is nice. There's a new form of shards, which is scary because that could mean spending money. There's a 7-star rarity of the champion as opposed to the 3 and 4, which is obviously on the other relic one. So that's nice. It's different. I love a little bit of kind of like spicy and different. Oh my word, I just remember there's so many more things to go over. The Rebirth event. The Rebirth event is basically the Legends event, and there's a calendar, arena, Act 8 Crucible type event. We go to the Act 8 Crucible and you do a solo objective. There's a Crucible Realm event. Oh, my word. Vivision with some bug fixes and 5 more champions that will receive a tune-up. Really exciting to see these champions, which is going to be these ones right here. Damn it, just went right at the last minute then. There we go. You've got all the champions there that are going to be coming into a selector, so you'll hopefully be able to get some of these spicy champions as well. Look at how good they are. They're not, but they're going to get a buff, and I'm happy about that. And see 7-star versions like Dr. Voodoo, which is great, and Cull Obsidian, which is okay, Sabretooth, which is exciting as well. And yeah, next month, massive month. There's also Doombots. Doombots were, I don't know if we're getting a chance to grab them like we were with some of those Deploids. I don't know. Do we care? Maybe it's a new event coming soon. Also, gameplay and footage of Mr. Knight was showcased, and yeah, so some animations, some abilities were seen, like something to do with like waxing crescent and light proficiency, but it's a working thing, so it may not actually be what we see from the final version. A little bit of unblock. No, not unblockable. That's part of the other abilities. There's sleep in there as well. So yes, that's that. The SP3 goes comic book form in some of the animation there. That goes into like that, like a comic book kind of steel, kind of black and white type look. Love that, fantastic, and that's gonna see it through. I think we just did about 20 minutes, 1 hour 30 live stream of the July update in 20 minutes. Thankfully, right? That's going to be it for the video. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this video and of course you want to support, just hit the like button and, you know, support. That's simply put. Check out the write-up in the description. I'll see you soon. Whew, that was tiring. Goodbye.